Sup, nerds? Big Halloween video for you. Can Batman run the horror gauntlet? Well, we're gonna find out. But before we find out, I gotta make sure I gotta set some rules here. Firstly, the horror gauntlet in question are just random characters throughout horror that I have selected. We got some classics in there. We got some newbies in there. We got some sci-fi in there. All fun stuff. And before we get started, we are using comic book Batman, but Batman is not holding back one bit. And he'll have just a limited amount of time to prep for each of them. Okay? Understood? So, let's get started. And as we get started, we got to start off with Batman. And Bruce Wayne when it comes to physicality, the dude is damn near superhuman. You could even say he is superhuman. I mean, he can easily rip and warp metal, casually break bones, kicked an airplane door off its hinges. Dude lifts 1,000 pounds as part of his workout routine, as well as pushing 2 tons with his legs. He has sent people absolutely flying absurdly far. He's ripped car doors off. He's held a crocodile's mouth open. He's casually snapped a gun in half with his grip strength alone, his grip strength of his right hand. And he's consistently knocked out superhumans like Bane and Killer Croc. He's even staggered Superman with a punch before, which is really insane, whether it was a sucker punch or not. And his suit is bullet fire and shockproof, but even if it wasn't, his pain tolerance and endurance are insane. He's withstood massive falls and house-busting explosions. He's withstood hits from Wonder Woman and Superman. He's even survived being stabbed in the lungs and throat, and kept on fighting through all of it. And of course, he's been shot before as well, and he's just fought through it. And his speed, bro, he is so fast. I mean, bullet dodging doesn't even come close to describing it. That is so easy to him at this point. It's so easy that he's routinely dodging gunfire from multiple angles, machine gun fire, and even point-blank range bullets. He's avoided explosions and took out groups of men in seconds, and his agility is nearly as good as Selina's and Dick's. And we already know he's one of the best fighters in all of comics. He knows 127 fighting styles, essentially all of them. And his style is usually a combination of about 40 of them. But he can switch up to other combinations to remain unpredictable. He's mastered styles from other planets. He knows pressure points and nerve strikes. And he's a great marksman and of stealth. He claims to know 400 ways to beat someone without killing them too, and as we know, he carries a lot of gadgets on his utility belt, all sorts of stuff, batarangs, gas bombs, smoke pellets, flashbangs, EMPs, etc., you get it. And he's also a master tactician and strategist, one of the best in the entire world, if not the entire DC universe. But who is first on my list of horror icons to try to take down the Dark Knight? Well, Chucky, the killer doll. And I'm just going to be honest straight up, I don't see this being hard for Batman. Yes, Chucky is a violent spirit possessing a doll. He was a serial killer in life. Yes, I know Chucky is stronger than the average person. And he can't even truly die. He's pretty fast on his feet too. A little trickster he is. He's been blasted apart by bullets, and he's been melted by fire. He comes back every time. There's no stopping him. But guys, he's a doll. Batman has simply fought and beaten more powerful and dangerous threats. Alright. Chucky may live, but he's gonna be held up somewhere, probably in a special cell in Arkham that Batman creates and designs for him specifically. Yeah, the Caped Crusaders getting past this with little difficulty. Next up on my list is the iconic Michael Myers. A bit harder for Batman, I will say, at least on a physical level, but nothing I don't think Batman can't truly deal with and overcome. Yeah, I'd say he's physically stronger and tougher than Bruce Wayne, right? He's flipped over a car, he's crushed skulls with his bare hands, he's punched through metal, and he's moved a large fallen tree that took 4 men to move later on. He's withstood being stabbed several times all over, barrages of gunfire, being shot in both eyes, shot and stabbed in the head, shot several times, followed by a fall into a mine or down a well. I don't remember exactly, but it's one of the two. And he's also been inside a burning building. But with that being said, Batman is significantly faster, more agile, obviously more skilled, and has all of his gadgets. Batman has also bested Solomon Grundy, and while he's highly inconsistent as a character in terms of power level, he's usually seen on the low end, which is honestly comparable to Michael Myers. And lastly, Michael uses a butcher's knife. What's that going to do to Batman's armor? Break, probably. Yeah, Batman will find a way to win. He'll put Michael down one way or another. And yeah, the world's greatest detective moves on. Next up, we got Jason Voorhees himself. And to be honest, copy and paste from Michael Myers. Yes, Jason is physically stronger and tougher than Michael due to his undead supernatural physiology. He simply has greater strength feats and survived more shit than Michael Myers has. That's because he's undead, and his body is an extension of his will. If he doesn't want to die, he won't. But, I mean, it's the same type of fight Batman will have to do against Jason that he did against Michael Myers. He'll have to do more, but it's still the same thing. Jason can't die, he doesn't even really feel pain anymore, but Batman will find a way to win, eventually. Speed, skill, gadgets, all the same advantages that he held over Michael, he still holds over Jason. And if he's not holding back, brother, Jason's in a world of hurt, because he's hitting nerve strikes, he's hitting pressure points, he is going low and fighting dirty, and that's what I'm just saying. And you can think about it. He may not, yet, he never dies in his movies, Jason, right? Yet he's always quote-unquote defeated at the end of each of them. If random people with no training can do it, so can Batman for sure. This is definitely his hardest fight so far, though. And I'm sure Jason could get in a few really hard hits. He is still stronger than Batman. But at the end of the day, I'm still siding with the Dark Knight. Next up, we have the world's greatest hunter. The galaxy's greatest hunter, the Predator. This is an interesting one. Yajas are definitely physically better than Batman. They can easily carry buffalo and lift grizzly bears high in the air, crumple steel doors with their bare hands, overpower aliens, shatter stone, and rip out spines and rip off other limbs and whatnot. They can endure shotgun blasts to the face at point-blank range without their biomask, hellfire missiles, and hits from alien queens. And they've easily run through machine gun fire and dodge point-blank bullets too. They're also master combatants and hunters, mastering a style far more brutal than any style on Earth. And it's even stated that they hunted down the dinosaurs, and they have hunted creatures across the galaxy, ranging in difficulty and danger. And some of the very best of the best can even take down alien queens by themselves. And then there's their massive technological advanced arsenal. I'm not gonna sit here and list them off, but some of the highlights are the metal spear things, the metal discs that can cut through anything, the shoulder mounted plasma caster, the net gun, the wrist blades, and of course the self-destruct nuclear bomb thing that they have. But here's the thing. These two have fought before during a crossover comic. And while the Predator won the initial fight, Batman won the next fight due to his preparation, right? He's prepared to fight a Predator head to head, hand to hand, and knows to be cautious when fighting them. Batman, he's done this before, and he can do it again. Although this is definitely his toughest fight, and it's a fun fight. I would like to do a more of a bigger deep down into that fight one day, and maybe I will. Who knows? But how does the Dark Knight fare against the galaxy's perfect organism? Aliens can easily carry grown men, slice through chains, and bust through metal grates. They have easily tanked bullets from machine guns and shotguns, as well as point-blank explosions, just fine. And they're notoriously quick and agile, able to easily traverse in cramped hallways and vents at insane speeds, and even dodge point-blank bullets. They have razor-sharp claws, can climb on walls and ceilings, their tails can be used as spears, and their inner mouth can pierce through the predator's bulletproof biomask and into their skulls. Let's not forget their near-perfect defense mechanism, their highly acidic blood. They're also known for their intelligence, being able to learn and adapt to new threats and lay traps and whatnot. But just like the Predator, Batman has beaten the Alien before doing a crossover comic. He's actually taken down a whole hive by himself. If he can take down a whole hive by himself, one should be no problem. Yeah, and it's just another case, just like with the Predator, of been there, done that. The Dark Knight beats the Xenomorph. Next up on the list is a new one, Freddy Fazbear. He's an animatronic bear piloted by the spirit of a vengeful child who was murdered. And not only that, this boy's body was stuffed and crushed inside of the animatronic. So he's very angry about that. Being an animatronic made of metal, he's superhumanly strong and durable. He could easily rip people apart, force open a garage door, and its weight alone was enough to nearly tip over a car just by sitting in it. And he could also do other things, probably like bust through walls, lock doors, probably warp metal, probably flip cars if it wanted to. However, that is where its advantages end, and while Bruce can't do anything about the spirit, he doesn't have to. All he has to do is dismantle the animatronic that the spirit is tethered to. This is because it can't leave the Freddy animatronic, and Batman can do this with EMPs and other electrical gadgets, and throw some explosives in for good measure, and the animatronic and the Dark Knight walks away with a W as he sets out on a way to help the boy's spirit find peace. But the Dark Knight wins this one relatively easily with his electrical gadgets. But the next two is where it gets difficult for Batman, because now we have Freddy Krueger. He was a serial pedophile and child murderer, up until the parents of these kids burned his place to the ground with him in it. But he was resurrected and empowered by these dream demon things to be their avatar of fear. He is superhumanly strong, being able to overpower people and send them flying, as well as fight against Jason Voorhees. Just like Jason, he can't die. He's been set ablaze, he's been in big explosions, he's been decapitated. He lived through all of it. His one weapon is his claw hand that can cleanly dismember and decapitate people, but his most powerful powers are his dream powers. He can enter people's dreams, and once there, he can manipulate and shape it into anything he wants. He literally becomes a god here, and whatever happens to his victims in the dreams happens to them in real life. That includes death. He figures out their fears and exploits them to the max to torment them as much as possible before finishing the job. However, the script can be flipped against him if his victims overcome their fears. So I think this is interesting, but I am still siding with Batman simply because he's prepared to deal with this due to the years of dealing with Scarecrow. He has exploited all of Batman's fears, from exposing his identity to losing his Bat family, failing Gotham, or reliving the night his parents died. And Batman has overcome all of it, and he will overcome Freddy. And in a physical fight, I do think Batman has the edge and will win that fight. Freddy might not die, but Batman is still winning. But what about the dancing clown, Pennywise? So you can kind of copy and paste from Freddy Krueger to here, but it is different. Because Pennywise doesn't have to wait till Bruce is sleeping to attack him. It has shape-shifting physical illusions that only Bruce can see, telepathy, teleportation, invisibility, superhuman physicals, and probably some other power, all designed to exploit Bruce's fears and to make him taste better. It also doesn't just have superhuman durability. It is completely invulnerable unless its victims are being courageous and hopeful. It can also reveal its true form, the Deadlights. One look at these, and Batman is either dead or comatose. However, as I said earlier, Batman has overcome all of his fears, and he's been physically and psychologically tormented by Joker for years, for decades. Another clown. I just don't think there's much it can do or show Batman that will faze the Dark Knight very much. And if its prey is fighting back courageously, then it itself is weakened. I mean, a bunch of kids sent it packing. What's it going to do with one of the best fighters in all of comics who isn't holding back with a whole utility belt of fun gadgets? It runs or it dies. So yeah, I think the Dark Knight can overcome the dancing clown. Batman runs my horror gauntlet. But with that being said, I do need to say this. It's possible for any of these horror icons to kill Batman. Truly, Chucky could attack him. It could attack Bruce Wayne instead of Batman. Michael Myers could crush his skull. Jason could crush his skull. The Predator could just best him in combat. The Xenomorph's blood could incinerate him and, melt him down. Freddy Fazbear could crush him if he got his hands on him. And both Freddy Krueger and Pennywise could beat the Dark Knight doing what they do best, using their powers to exploit fears. I just think at the end of the day, through everything Batman has been through over the decades and the years of training and honing his abilities and his strength and his speed, that he overcomes them. I'm not trying to undersell them, and I'm not trying to overhype Batman. There's a reason why Batman has all this hype behind him within, the DC community and superhero fandoms and whatnot. It's because he really is that good. And especially if you give him some prep time and no morals, he's not holding back. That is honestly dangerous thing. Especially for just a street level character. He's overpowered when it comes to a street level. That is Batman. That is the world's greatest detective, the Caped Crusader, the Dark Knight. Batman runs my horror gauntlet. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Leave a comment of what you thought. Hit the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos and all the great stuff. I truly do appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Happy Halloween.